How does your computer store a file? There are two ways files are physically stored on your computer: random access memory and the disk. The physical memory, or RAM, is temporary. If a file is needed and it's not found here, it's retrieved from long-term storage. The disk is the permanent file system or long-term storage where most files live when they're not being used by the RAM. For the purposes of this video, we will be focusing on the disk. A common misconception of how files are stored is that every file is next to each other in the disk. But there's a problem here. This is actually a bad idea to implement because if I need to add more to a file, I need empty space for that file to grow properly. Otherwise, I end up writing over an existing file. So how do we provide flexibility for files to grow? We have to take our disk and divide it into blocks. Each block will have a file in it, and each block will also have some slack space for the file to grow. But what if I need to add more to a file when the block is full? Well, I go to the empty block at the end and simply add the rest of the file there. So here we have our file system with files scattered all over the place, but there's another problem. How does the computer know where each file is and how to access each file? For that, we have a directory file. The directory file knows where each file is, the size of each file, and important information such as the owner, date created, date last modified, and permissions such as who gets to read or edit the file. So here's our file system. This is how the computer physically stores files. They're stored in segments called blocks. They have a directory file so the computer knows critical information on each file. Through abstraction, your computer is able to view them as complete files. If you want to go more in depth on this subject, I highly recommend watching Crash Course Computer Science episodes 18 through 20, as it dives deep on operating systems, memory, and storage. I also recommend Neso Academy's Operating Systems course if you really want to get a deep understanding of operating systems and how your computer works at a low level. Both resources are free and on YouTube, and they're a great way to learn. I'll leave the links in the description below.